Welcome back to Mystery Minds, the channel where we dive into the darkest corners of true crime, uncovering stories that shock, intrigue, and leave us questioning the world around us. In today's case, we bring you a chilling and tragic tale, one of ideology, hatred, and an unthinkable act of violence. This is the story of the Magdeburg Christmas Market attack. A moment meant to celebrate the joy of the season was shattered by a calculated act of terror, leaving lives lost and a nation shaken. What drove the perpetrator to commit such a heinous act? And how did the system fail to see the danger signs before it was too late? Stay with us as we unravel the dark and haunting events of that December night. December 20th, 2024, Magdeburg, Germany. The air was filled with the scent of roasted chestnuts, the warm glow of fairy lights, and the joyful hum of holiday music. The Christmas market was in full swing, a cherished tradition that brought people together in the spirit of the season. Families strolled through the stalls, sipping mulled wine and hot cocoa, while children marveled at the festive displays. But as the clock struck 7 p.m., this idyllic scene turned into a nightmare. A sudden roar shattered the festive atmosphere. A black BMW barreled into the crowd, its headlights cutting through the darkness, like a predator stalking its prey. Witnesses described the horrifying moment when the vehicle accelerated, leaving no time for anyone to react. By the time the car came to a halt, the market was a scene of devastation, 5 lives lost including a small child, 200 others injured, and a city left reeling in shock. The driver, 50-year-old Taleb Al Abdulmohsen, was immediately apprehended at the scene. But who was he? And why would he commit such a heinous act? In the hours that followed, investigators began piecing together the puzzle. Abdulmohsen was a Saudi national, a former doctor who had sought asylum in Germany in 2006, working in a clinic near Magdeburg. His past was riddled with contradictions. A man who once practiced healing had now caused unimaginable pain. To understand Abdulmohsen's motives, we have to delve into his life. Once a devout Muslim, Abdulmohsen had renounced his faith after fleeing Saudi Arabia. In Germany, he became a vocal critic of Islam and describes himself as a Saudi atheist and an advocate for far-right ideologies. His social media was a chilling reflection of his growing extremism. Posts were filled with hatred, conspiracy theories, and calls for action against those he perceived as enemies. Abdulmohsen wasn't just angry, he was radicalized. But what drove him to cross the line from words to violence? Investigators believe Abdulmohsen's hatred and ideological extremism were the driving forces behind his actions. What makes this case particularly disturbing is the missed warning signs. Abdulmohsen's behavior had raised red flags, but authorities failed to categorize him as a potential threat. In Germany, where counter-terrorism efforts have largely focused on Islamist extremism, Abdulmohsen didn't fit the profile. This blind spot in security measures allowed him to operate under the radar until it was too late. While the investigation unfolded, the city of Magdeburg mourned its losses. Among the victims were Klaus Weber, a retired schoolteacher who had been selling handmade ornaments at the market for over 30 years. There was also Maria and Tobias, a young couple celebrating their recent engagement, and Anna, a 12-year-old girl who had been shopping with her parents. Their stories remind us of the human cost of such tragedies: lives cut short, families forever changed, and a community left to pick up the pieces. In the wake of the attack, security measures at Christmas markets across Germany were intensified. Metal barriers were installed, and police presence was significantly increased. The government faced criticism for its failure to anticipate the attack, reigniting debates about how to combat extremism in all its forms. This wasn't just a failure of security, it was a failure to recognize that terrorism is not confined to one ideology, religion, or profile. Abdulmohsen's attack was a stark reminder of how hate and radicalization can manifest in unexpected ways. Abdulmohsen now faces trial for his actions. His defense has claimed mental instability, but prosecutors argue that this was a premeditated act of terror. The trial will not only determine his fate but also force Germany to confront uncomfortable questions about its approach to national security and the ideological divides within its society. This case highlights the evolving nature of terrorism. We must remain vigilant, not just against traditional threats, but against extremism in all its forms. As the holiday season approaches again, the people of Magdeburg strive to heal. The Christmas market has reopened, a symbol of resilience in the face of tragedy. But for the victims' families, the pain endures. This case forces us to ask, how can we prevent such tragedies in the future? And how do we balance security with the freedoms we cherish? This is a case that forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of extremism and the fragility of safety in public spaces. As we reflect on the tragedy of the Magdeburg Christmas Market attack, we're reminded that hate and violence know no single ideology, religion, or face. Thank you for watching Mystery Minds. If you found this story insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.